Creating a successful influencer marketing campaign requires understanding of a world that's changing every day, the internet. Here are some quick tips to help you understand that world a little bit better. Influencers are everywhere. Anybody can be an influencer nowadays. It can get a little overwhelming when trying to find the right one to work with your brand. First of all, if you already have an influencer in mind, what are you doing? Just email them. Tell them a little bit about what you're trying to do, and if you really want to get their attention, throw in how much you're willing to pay them. Those are the ones I usually respond to, because I know you mean business. If you don't have an influencer picked out already, you can go to a third-party site. They're called influencer marketplaces, and there are a ton of them to choose from. My personal favorite is FameBit. I've gotten several brands to work with me from there. You just hop on there, you make a post, you say a little bit about what you're trying to do, what platforms you want it posted on, how much you're willing to pay, and then the influencers will come to you. This is usually a more budget-friendly approach than going straight to an agent or an influencer. Now that you have some influencers picked out, how do you pick the right one for your brand? A big mistake that brands often make is judging an influencer by their follower count. That's not where the real power lies. It lies in community engagement. Comments, likes, sharing, this means their community is actually listening to what they're saying. This is where you get real conversions to your brand. There are a ton of creators with a bunch of views, a bunch of subscribers, but no meaningful engagement. This can be due to a lot of reasons, including purchasing followers. Basically like talking to a room full of dead people, you don't want to pay for that. Also, don't be afraid of working with smaller creators. A lot of brands shy away from that sort of thing, but sometimes these people have the most engagement relative to their size. Another key factor in choosing the right influencer for you is the type of content they produce. It's more than just a demographic, gender, age, where they live sort of thing. For example, I have a channel with a demographic of 18 to 24-year-old girls, so I've had a bunch of makeup and clothing brands approach me. But that's not really gonna suit my audience because I do comedy and art content. So the girls that watch my videos aren't coming there for makeup and fashion advice. It would seem extremely insincere and honestly just weird if I threw in a makeup brand deal in the middle of one of my art videos. On the other hand, a while ago I did a deal with a drawing tablet company and it went very well. It was super well received in my community. They were so thrilled. You have to try and understand the type of content the influencer is making before just throwing money at them and thinking it'll work. It's in both parties' best interest for the influencer to be genuine about your product. Especially nowadays, online communities shy away from big business and they're so freaked out about influencers selling out. So the influencer needs to have some freedom with how they represent your brand on their platform. If you have specific talking points, that's fine. Just give them bullet points, not a full script. You have to remember that no two influencers are exactly the same and they all have a deep understanding of their own audiences. Just trust them. They want their content to do well just like you do. So be flexible with your ideas and listen to what they have to say. If they say their community is not going to respond to a certain thing, listen, it probably won't. And at the end of the day, it's the influencer's job to be entertained. If you don't let them do that, then nobody's gonna watch it, and that's in nobody's best interest. For example, if they're a comedy influencer, they're probably gonna be a little goofy or sarcastic. If you don't want that, don't hire them. Go with somebody else. So how much do you pay these people? Easy. Just throw a number out there and they'll tell you if that's okay. Or if you have no idea, there's a site called Social Blue Book. You can always ask a creator to send you their Social Blue Book information and then it'll give you a better idea of how much, what range they're looking in. A note from an influencer's perspective though, if you're fair with your pay, we will go above and beyond for your brand. I will genuinely want the campaign to succeed, which means I'll make posts on other platforms that you didn't pay for. I'll talk about it in my live streams. I'll talk about it with my friends, my other influencer friends. Just think about that when you lowball us and then don't want to pay us later. You have to be clear and realistic with what you want from these people. If you want your logo in there, that's fine, just tell us beforehand. If you want a link, you have to tell us and give it to us. And be clear about the date that you want it posted, at least like a week beforehand. Editing, scripting, filming, drawing, it all takes so much more time than you think. And many influencers work alone, they do all this work themselves. Try and be flexible with them. And keep in mind that changes take a while. Even just exporting a video can take hours. So if you want like a last minute minor change, just know it might not be as timely as you want. Try not to take everything so seriously. Have you been on the internet recently? Nobody takes anything seriously anymore. Just check out Wendy's Twitter if you want to see something that's gonna blow your mind. Not everything has to be 100% business 100% of the time. Most people are looking for a more genuine experience nowadays. Keeping that in mind, also treat your influencers with a little bit of respect. It may be their job to make a fool of themselves on the internet, but that's still their job, and most of them take it pretty seriously. They have a platform, and if you treat them poorly, they'll tell on you. Thanks for listening to the tips for brands working with influencers. I hope you learned a little bit of something, and I hope you can work with some influencers this year.